Verbally Effective with Ina Esco is an interview-style podcast that intersects art, culture, politics, and entertainment with a Memphis focus. Each week, I'm joined by a featured guest with roots in Memphis. Verbally Effective delves into each guest's personal journey to uncover the incredible stories fueling their purpose, the highs and lows of their pursuits, and how through their passion, they are moving the culture forward. Be sure to follow Verbally Effective and Ina Esco on Instagram. Also, download the Verbally Effective podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music. Don't forget to check out the website and submit to be a guest at verballyeffective.com. Greetings, and welcome to another edition of the Verbally Effective Podcast. I'm your host, your double E, Ina Esco. This is the podcast that intersects art, entertainment, culture, politics with a Memphis flair. So, I'm talking to all the people from Memphis that are doing amazing things in the city and beyond. Before we get into our guest today, I definitely want you guys to subscribe to the podcast on all streaming platforms and that Ina Esco YouTube channel as well. Happy holidays. Let me get that out the way because 'tis the season going on right now. And I want to welcome my beautiful guest today. She is a singer, songwriter, and we're going to talk about all of the other amazing things that she does. And I think I actually met this beautiful woman when I was doing an R&B series with Mike Mosby. I'm talking about Stephani Mccoy.
Hey.
What's up, lady?
Hey.
You remember when we were doing that?
Was it at Purple Haze?
It was at Purple Haze.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't remember what it.
I was trying to think of the name.
I can't remember the name of what it was doing, but shout out to Mike Mosby.
Shout out to Mike Mosby.
Being that bridge there.
Yes, because I would say I met a lot of the artists in Memphis through Mike Mosby, through that particular series he was doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was the name? We're going to call you back. I don't know the name.
Mike, we're going to call you in a minute. Text you, shoot you a text. But Stephani, let's get into it. What part of Memphis are you from?
I am from North Memphis.
North.
Memphis finest. North. Yeah.
Okay, like what area of North Memphis?
Like Hollywood, Jackson, over there. I spent a lot of time over there, living there, and in Fraser.
Okay.
My family stayed on the northern parts, and as the neighborhoods changed, they moved out.
They moved
kind
out.
of thing. So now I'm in Cordova.
Okay. Yeah.
Trying to get to downtown.
Look, trying to get to downtown with all the development going on, right?
All the art stuff, and that's
Right.
just where I spend a lot of time anyway. So
Doing gigs, right?
Mhm.
Everything downtown Memphis, huh?
it is.
But we're going to stay on North Memphis for a minute.
there, yes,
Tell me about the
let's.
schools that you attended in North.
So I did not go to school in North Memphis.
Okay.
My mom was like, no.
Okay.
She knew early music was what I wanted to do, so she wanted to go ahead and get a start on it. Then I was already doing it at church, of course. But if I was going to spend my time in, school is something that I wanted to do. So she found Ridgeway. So I had an aunt. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. Well, it's done now. But yeah, I lived with my aunt.
You good, girl.
And
You
so,
good.
I used her address, and that's how I was able to, I was fortunate enough to go to Ridgeway. They had a really strong choral program.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Dr. Brewer. Hey,
Okay.
boo, I love you. He's still one of my good, one of them teachers you don't forget.
Yes.
So that's where I went to school. So I didn't go to school in North Memphis, but that's where I lived.
Okay. And tell me about your family dynamic. Are you an only child? You got siblings?
I am. So my brother, my dad's son, so I have a brother, but I was raised alone, basically.
Okay.
So I kind of am my only child and kind of
I understand.
not an only child.
I got you. You were spoiled.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. My dad and mom definitely spoiled me.
Yes.
Yeah, they did. They did. Love y'all. Y'all did.
Okay, so I heard you say that
spoiled
you
me.
started in the church. Tell me about that experience with your singing and songwriting, kind of beginning in the church.
Okay, so my church was in South Memphis.
Okay.
Greater Mount Moriah on Wellington. My grandmother, my mom's mom, was a musician there, singer. She was self-taught. She could read music. She was very talented, smart. And so I spent a lot of time with her because that's what I like to do. And so back then, y'all know the church kids know we were at church like every Sunday, all day during the week too. If it wasn't school, after school you going to church. So I was always with her. Always, like I said, she played. So she was the director of the larger choir, and sometimes would help out with the smaller kids. So we rehearsed during the week. So that's where I got a lot of my, I guess, training. I call her my first MD because she really was the one who kind of groomed me and taught me certain things.
So she saw that gift in you very early on.
She did.
You were leading the songs all that.
I did. My first little solo was in a play. It was in a play at church, and I think it was the skit. The part of the skit I had to sing was the famous "If You Wanna Be Somebody," and I was like, "Oh, I can do this."
So you liked performing at a young age.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Even at a young age, did you think, okay, I'm gonna sing when I grow up?
I did. You hear people say that stuff but it's real. Like I feel like people really do know. Some really do know at a young age. Like this is something that is a gift. Like I like to do it. It's pulling me in at a young age. Like what is this thing that I have, inside of me? And she definitely saw it. Like I said, everybody did. My dad sings too. My mom, my family can sing, but they don't. Like they can, like we talked about earlier, they can hold their part.
Yeah.
They can hold their part. If they really would have, if it was something that they would have been interested in focusing on, then we probably could have been a little choir or something.
Like a family thing. Working.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me what happened after you graduated from Ridgeway. What went on in your world?
So while I was there, I met Adagio. I met my sisters.
Okay.
I sang with them. We've been singing together since 2004.
Shout out to Adagio.
Yes.
Y'all been around for a minute.
Yeah, and we so right out of high school, we all went to University of Memphis. We decided to stay together. We just talked about branching off and going to different places, but we decided to stay to make the most of what we knew we had together. We started gigging a lot. So even though I was in college, my major I was a vocal performance major, which is what it says. It requires you to perform a lot. So it was kind of bumping heads with Adagio stuff, and I was like, I had to pick. Of course, I picked Adagio because I felt like I was already, not that I don't know everything. I absolutely didn't know everything then, but I was already getting what I needed. I was already being paid the money. I was going to class sometimes.
Okay.
But I decided early, I told my family, I was like, I love y'all. I know this is something that you guys probably would like for me to do, and I may revisit it later. But right now, I think this is my focus. And they were kind enough to accept it. Yeah, and support me.
So you left U of M.
I left University of Memphis. I didn't finish. I think I was in like my sophomore semester, and I actually tried to go back to college. Me and Brittany went to Lemoyne for a while.
Okay, so, I didn't know that.
A lot of people. I went to Lemoyne. I went to Paul Mitchell. I went to hair school. I have a lot of gifts.
You tried a few things.
Yeah, I did because I knew what I was solely interested in, which is what I'm doing now. But those are things that I was really good at as well, and I just tried, just to see. I think it's important to have that space at that age, especially to just try and see.
Figuring out what you want to do with your world.
I didn't want to, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like my dad is very, but also this is different generation. But my dad is, we're opposite in that way. He went to trade school. That's what he wanted to do, and he's very good at what he does. I admire his skill, but he didn't go to college. He went to trade and he did his thing, and that's just what he does.
Yeah,
I just have so many other things I want to tap
other
into.
endeavors. Okay.
So yeah.
So when you broke away from U of M, you told me you tried a few different things. When did you really just knew, hey, this is going to be my profession? You started getting booked for gigs. At what point in your life did it really start changing?
I want to say around that same time when I was in college. Really,
so that was the decision.
That was the decision. Yeah. Like I knew, I can make this amount of money, and that was then. I can make this amount of money for this amount of time, and not saying that it's all about the money, but I also enjoy doing this too. So I'm like, this is something that I should probably really focus on and see where I can, how I can make the most out of making it a career. I know that I can do it as a career. Like it's tangible. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see.
Definitely. Now, were you writing back then too?
I was trying to. I had to grow, and I'm still growing. But I was writing back then. Adagio we had a whole album that's not even out of stuff that we wrote back then. But as we listen to it now, it's still really relevant. So we're gonna probably. So yeah, some of those things we were writing back then. I was writing back then. And just like a lot of other people, you may write something in 2000, the year 2000, it may not come out till
I
22,
hear that a lot.
23, and it's really still good and relevant stuff. So I was writing back then.
You know what, Stephanie? One of my favorite podcasts right now is the R&B Money podcast with Tank and Jay Valentine.
I need to go listen.
You need to go listen because, they're trying to keep R&B music and the business of it alive. And they bring on guests that that have contributed so much to the R&B industry. And when you sit there and listen to their stories, even like we're talking about songwriting, the amount of time and hours and just sweat equity they put into their craft.
Yeah.
Like these people are in the studio all the time, and we may only hear
2 seconds.
2 seconds of it.
2 minutes. It took 3 hours and 30 years to write this.
Has that been your life? Like, can you relate to that?
Yeah, I can. With the things that I am a part of, or that I like, I'm on a lot of features. I haven't released anything on my own yet because of that. But when I was living in LA, and even here, especially in LA though, because that's what I went to do, we would be there literally till the morning time. Sometimes, sometimes you don't even use some of the stuff that
but you got to put it down.
Yeah, you put it down, you get the ideas out. It's like a trial and error kind of thing. With art. You just have to do it. It's you have to be vulnerable, and that can be hard to want to share and find out how you want to share things that have happened to you, like that are relatable. So
I always wonder, like, the process of writing a song. Is it like you digging deep into yourself to like I'm writing a story, but it's gonna come with a melody? Like, how does that work?
It's different. It can happen in any. I have songs where I literally sat down and wrote just maybe a journal and took the lyrics from a journal, or wrote something intentionally, like somebody gave me a subject. This is what we're gonna write from. Or you could be riding down the street, something to come to you, something fun, something that has nothing to do with anything. Like something crazy, random stuff, random things you see on the street. So I think it's just now the process of recording that, that's of course, well, no, that can be different too. I think it just varies. And I think that's the beautiful thing about different songs, like the story behind the songs, not just lyrically, but like you said, how they're created. Like what were you thinking about? And it's one of the main things. Some of my favorite songs and favorite artists, I'm like, I just want to ask them, what were you doing
exactly
when you thought about this? Or producers, like I love. That's one of the things I'm trying to get into too. I'm not trying to take nobody's job, but
girl, try it out.
I just like, I have things I want to get out as well. I would also. Some of them will probably keep it. I take them to somebody to make them better. But just the thought process of what people are dealing with and going through when they think of certain things.
Yes.
It's cool to just think of it, like, to ask them and hear it. It makes the song, once you find out, it makes the song more,
I agree,
relatable, or you love the song more. It's like, oh.
Right.
I'm imagining this,
Look, you better tap into that producer side.
I'm going to.
Because I don't hear about a lot of women producers in the industry.
I mean,
you probably know more. I'm sure you know way more than I do.
One of them, do you know the Jackson Ave? Jackson Ave?
I've heard of the Jackson Ave.
They're a talented group of sisters here, but I know they do a lot of producing and instrumentation as well. And they're really good at it. So just some people from home. It's some people here some women here that do it.
Have you worked with them before?
Yeah, we've worked together. We don't have anything recorded, but those are like Adagios. That's like our little sisters. So
okay.
Yeah, we haven't. We need to work on it, y'all.
Hello, Jackson Ave.
We need a little collab or something.
Now you mentioned LA. When you moved to LA, what was the spark to move to LA and try your hand at music in LA?
like I said, I've known I wanted to do it for a long time. So I knew that, New Genesis, I don't know if y'all remember New Genesis from back in like, what year? The early 2000s. They would sing, play. It was a band. They would perform at Isaac Hayes all the time. We all went to, well, not all of us, most of us went to Ridgeway together, and we, grew in music. But they moved out there. They were the first group of friends that I know to move out there and try their hand in it. And when they did it, it was just so inspirational, and I always wanted to do it. So in 2011, at the time I was just kind of dealing with some things. Adagio was still doing things, but like we're 4 different women. At that time, life was changing. Some of us are married, we have kids, and I knew that some of us wanted to stay and finish school. And I just knew that, okay, if I'm going to do this, maybe this is the time for me to do it. I don't have any kids right now. I'm not married. Y'all, we actually went to go visit together to see if we wanted to move, and we did. But I was like, y'all, I want to go right now.
Look, I'm ready.
I mean, I came home for a while and worked, and like I said, for some other personal reasons, I needed to escape. And I was like, this is the perfect time. So I hit up my girl Elena, who is doing extremely well right now. She's in a group called God, and GAWD, and they're doing amazing. But she and I were on the phone. We were talking about dreams and stuff. I was like, friend, I'm finna buy my plane ticket. And she was like, okay. So we planned a date. We bought our plane tickets. We talked to, of course, the people that we already knew that were there to make sure that they would be able to keep us, sheltered and stuff like that. And we went ahead and we left. Okay. And we went.
How did LA embrace you, honey? Because let's just talk about the cost of living, first of all, from Memphis to LA.
Too much.
Ooh.
It's too much.
That was a big adjustment.
It's a big adjustment. And I was crazy enough. I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but at the time, like, I was really, really desperate. But I knew I had work there musically, and I also knew I had a job there waiting for me.
Oh, well, then that changes things.
It did, but it didn't. I'm going to tell you why. But let me say this. I went out there. I didn't even have, don't do this, y'all, okay? I didn't even have $500 to my name. That's crazy to move to LA with $400 and something.
Hey.
But I did it, and, I was fine.
It's possible.
Thank my family, of course, just like anybody who goes out there with that. Your family and them, they support you as well until things you pick up. So thank them for that. But
what was your living situation when you first got there?
When I first got there, I lived in Hollywood with a friend.
Hollywood? Right
there, like close to the Strip. So that was kind of irritating a little bit.
Was it? Why?
It's kind of like living on Beale Street.
Oh, yeah.
Who wants to live on Beale Street? Like to live there, I did what I had to do. So it was cool. I was with one of my friends, Valencia. She had a studio, so I stayed with her for a while. And then my friend, you probably y'all know Charles Streeter. He had a house out in East LA. He was fortunate enough to have some friends who let him rent a house. And houses out there are expensive, but he was very blessed to find this in a friend. And I was able to move in with him and his family for a while. And then that turned into like a musician's house. And so it was definitely and I don't mean this I hope I don't offend anyone if anybody hears this, a Mexican lifestyle. Hispanic lifestyle where we was piled up in their house. But we all had the same goal. We had the same thing.
And you had to do what you had to do.
You had to do what you had to do. I was working, like I said. But
where were you working?
I worked in Pasadena. And I say that because we were living in East LA. So
that's a big drive, long drive?
Yes. It took me 2 buses every day, maybe a train, 2 buses and a train every day to and from work. So I was making money to pay my bills, but I was also not able to do what I came to do because by the time I get home, my people, they gone. By the time I get home, they're already at the gigs. And guess what? I just got off work, so I'm already expensive. I don't want to take a bus by myself an hour and a half into the city. It was just a lot. So that happened kind of towards the end part. I wasn't I didn't start working at. I was working at FedEx office in Pasadena. I didn't start there. They came through a friend that was there as well. But before then, we were just at home making music.
Okay.
You know. So
yeah. What is the biggest lesson you learned from living in LA?
The biggest one, I think we have to be just to prepare better, and also not just prepare better financially, but prepare better, period. Like financially, spiritually, emotionally, and to just, I learned a lot about myself, what I would tolerate, what I won't tolerate. You know, it helped me see what's out there as well. Like I got to work with my friends as well, see them working and work with people that I looked up to, and so I got those experiences, and so I learned things from them too. So I feel like if I ever decide to go back, or if I move anywhere, I'll be prepared, more prepared as a person.
Would you move back to LA?
Under the right circumstances.
Yeah,
I would.
Now you work with some heavy hitters. I saw you was working with Raphael Sadiq.
I did.
That's major.
I still can't believe that, honestly. My friend Elena now that moved out there, also paired with my friend Dottie. I'm sure y'all know Dottie.
Dottie.
Yes, my girl. And we all formed we didn't mean to form a group. We just kind of were doing things online, and it kind of, some of those things went viral, and he was able to see them. And so he reached out to us, and that's how we got to work with him and become cool with him. And
nice collab.
I know. There's some of the things, like I said, you in the studio for long periods of time, and some things just don't, some stuff don't even come out. I don't care that it didn't come out. I was there.
Okay, with Raphael
I was there,
Sadiq.
and I have that that to hold on to, and also just to, he's very kind. Like, we cool, so we still, I'm still able to, you know, say hello, and you know, have that if I go out there, and you know.
It seems like in LA too, you're very, I guess, in the vicinity of so many people musically.
Listen, I'm standing in one day. I think we were at this place called Libertine. I was just standing there and just, you know, having a drink, and I'm turned to my left, and I'm like, "Is this Drake?"
Okay, see,
And
that's
so,
where they hang out.
Yeah, I'm like,
that West Coast life.
And I'm like, Stephanie, do not, because I'm a Drake fan.
Let me call his daddy in Memphis.
I'm a Drake fan, so I was like, don't just act like you're supposed to be here. Don't do that. Don't be ghetto.
You know what? I hear that it's also like a strong Memphis connect in LA too. And like I've had a few guests that have gone to LA to try, you know, their different expertise in whatever industry they're in. And it's a strong Memphis community there.
It really is. I think at the time we were there, musician wise, I would count sometimes. It was at least maybe 15 to 20 of us at the same time. And like I said, Charles had the house, so we were always gathering.
Yeah, give you a sense of community.
Always, yeah. It was home, away from home.
Yeah,
I was the cook, so I'm always cooking.
You the
cook?
Cook?
Yes, I love to cook.
Stephani out here cooking?
Yes,
Wait a minute, let me find out.
I got y'all.
Okay,
I love it. It's one of my other loves. And
I didn't know
Charles
that.
would grill, Derek would grill. I would handle most of the other stuff, and we would have these huge cookouts from not just people that were from Memphis, but people loved, if you say you're from Memphis, even
people gravitate to that.
It's not weird. I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's, if you don't really realize what you have at home, and other people are seeing it, was just like taking us like, huh? Like, you are that excited that I'm from Memphis.
Yes,
you know?
indeed.
So it made me realize what we have, for sure.
Yeah,
we got
definitely. Here. Wow. Okay, we're going to see if you trek back to LA in the future.
Somebody call me, I might go back.
Okay. And, you know, I know at one point that you've even worked on a cruise ship.
Yes.
With Holland American Cruise Lines. How was that experience?
Amazing. I miss it sometimes. Living on the water, basically, and I can't swim. So I was just really risking it all.
You can't swim?
No, I cannot.
Do you like to be in that atmosphere?
Yes, I love water, so I do plan to learn, because I do want to get a little bit more cozy with it, because it's beautiful. But that was amazing, an amazing experience. That's really what kind of pushed me to doing more on my own because I wanted to grow vocally. I wanted to grow, just period. And I knew that was gonna push me because I was doing some stuff that I wouldn't normally do, like songs that I wouldn't normally try to even tackle. I was pushing myself, and I went out. My first contract, I went with Stephani Bolton, so she was actually helping me as well. So
shout out Stephani Bolton. Hey Stephani.
So she pushed me as well to make sure I got
what did your schedule look like on a cruise ship? Because like I've been on cruises before, and those folks are working.
Yeah. Holland and BB King, so they work for the BB King Blues Club, basically. They hooked up their contract, and it was lovely. Because compared to some of the other, like you said, entertainers and even just people that work on the ship, their schedules consist of them doing things for the ship throughout the day. Like you're working for Holland as well. But like I said, BB negotiated a lovely contract. So we performed it was a lot of performing though. 6 nights a week, 3 shows, 6 nights a week. You got 1 night off. So
sound like you had some downtime to do your thing.
Yeah, and that's what I say during the day. I mean, do what you want to do. But for me, my first contract, I was in Australia, and I kind of, like I said, I went out quick. I got thrown out there. And the pressure was on my tail, so I was like, I gotta learn this music. It's a lot of music to learn. So for the first, I think month of the contract, I saw that the itinerary was us revisiting the same place. So I just kind of didn't go off the ship. I would go sit on the bow or on the balcony somewhere, and unless I needed to get off, I didn't get off. I just learned the music so that I wouldn't have to go home because I wasn't gonna.
You
go
was
home.
About that business. It's like, let me learn this music, honey.
No, I'm all the way out here, and no, I wasn't going home. So
wow. Let's fast forward to today for Doll Mccoy. Just last weekend, I saw you perform at Crosstown Concourse, and I've seen you perform at a lot of places that I've even were gigging at, like hosting. You've been performing, and one of the things that I noticed is you're always the only woman. You are the star.
Yeah.
And behind you got your band full of men. How is it being the only woman in a lot of these spaces?
It's good, and it has its perks and it has its downfalls. Especially like going back to the ship, I was the only girl going out with all these guys. So or being away from home, being far away from home, away from feminine energy anyway. The one, especially the ones that you know and love, you miss that. But I also met some really good guys who became brothers to me and who looked out for me. And since I don't really have, I'm an only child, my other brother, we weren't really around one another. It was cool to establish those friendships with them and to be looked after, as like a little
So
like a
very
little sister.
Protective of you.
Yeah, some of them don't care about you at all, and they go.
What?
But I mean, we're working. So I don't expect them to, But being the only woman is okay. It can be intimidating sometimes because sometimes you're a woman, so they feel like they know things more than you do, and they might. But I can still say what I want.
Okay.
Want to say I can
y'all,
still
and
have
y'all don't listen.
Yeah, I can still say listen to me.
Yes. So how are things now for you, Stephani? In 2022, I know we've gone through a pandemic. I know that changed a lot in your life. But as of today, what are you focused on right now? Is it a solo career? Are you still doing business with Adagio? Like, where are you today, Miss Independent?
Yes. So I'm definitely still doing Adagio. We're still gracefully and slowly putting out some songs. Important songs. We're doing some things that our whole focus is sisterhood and just unity and heritage and that kind of thing. So we're focusing on those things. So that along with my own thing as well. I do a show the third one is coming up called Doll's Playlist. I have a playlist on Spotify and Apple where it's just stuff that people have asked me to sing or that I want to sing that I wasn't necessarily able to sing in some of the places that around the city, they wouldn't be too receptive of that type of.
You got to know your audience.
Yeah, you got to know your
honey.
audience. Everybody want to hear Before I Let Go, and it's cool. I love that song too. I like to sing it, but it's so many great songs and just original things as well that may not come across as well as Before I Let Go in the club. So that's one show that I do. Also, I'm working on releasing some new music, some of my own.
Are you writing it too?
I am.
Okay.
But I'm also, like, I have friends that are amazing writers, Adagio.
Yeah.
Some of my other friends. I'm trying to think, who have I been collabing with? I have my friend Sierra. She's a writer. People that aren't necessarily in the business, but they can write. They have good stories and stuff to tell. So
there's probably a lot of people like that.
And that's the thing I had to find. Is other people. You don't have to stick in the same circle. Find your people. Or at least open yourself up enough to let those people find you as well, so y'all can connect. Because sometimes the same old stuff will hinder you.
Right. And when you say that, just going to events in Memphis, listening to talent, it's a lot of our talent. They do a lot of covers in Memphis. Is that by design, or does our talent want to give their original music,
They do.
but they're worried about the audience?
They do. I think like you said, you have to know your audience. So creating your platform for you to do so is cool. I think when you go to the club, that's just what that is.
Yeah.
When you go to the club, most of the time, the DJs are not going to spend something new unless it's,
known.
It's known, or unless it's their friend paid them $1,000 to put their, I'm just saying,
it's like
people
that.
will do that.
Okay.
They'll slip them money to play their songs, and it's cool. I think you see that in the movies too. They do that, but I think that's just their place. When people get off work and stuff, they want to go to the club, they want to have a drink, they want to hear their favorite songs. And then you have your places like where you create your platforms, like I'm doing with Daw's Playlist. So you have shows, your own separate shows, so you can present yourself in another way from the people that you meet at these places. Like you're building your community by doing those things. And
True.
So it works hand in hand. But you do have artists like I used him for an example another time. Courtney Little has several songs that are relatable, and you can play Cougar Hunter in love.
Okay.
But you probably can't do one of my songs in love. They're gonna be like, it's pretty. Where y'all got it?
Yeah.
Or where is Before I Let Go?
Audience. It's the audience.
And I know I had to learn that was okay too. Like, okay, just save it.
Now, you know what? When I saw you last Saturday, you sang, I want to say you kind of flipped Erykah Badu somewhat.
Yes, girl.
I like that mashup you did. I was like,
you.
yes.
Thank you. I said if I was going to start doing covers, I want to do more of that. At least just let me be myself in the cover. Like with Black Cream, they are known for their flip, their take on like Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. Or my favorite by them is Remember the Time by Michael Jackson. I requested, like, I want to hear that one,
Yes.
So transitioning from just doing the covers as is in the club and doing what they want to hear, into really more the art side of things is where I am at now. That's what I'm focusing on. And actually not even doing a lot of that anymore. I just posted on status a couple of days ago that I'm not going to be in some of those same places. So just to tell people, if you don't see me posting the schedule, it's not because I'm not singing. I'm doing a lot of private stuff. I'm doing a lot of recording. And the shows that I do have coming up, I'll let you guys know where I'll be, but it's not going to be catch me here every weekend. I'm just out of that phase right now.
And I'm glad. I applaud
you
for that. Because most people are in that
Thank
phase,
you.
and they don't know how to get out that phase.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I love them. Shout out to them because it takes a lot to do that. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm good. I had to, literally was on stage at one point and at a gig, and I was like, I'm ready to go. And I told myself, I don't even want that to come off. So let me sit down. Let me figure out a new route, because I don't ever want it to be that I'm on stage. It's important to me what I give off to people, and I don't want to ever give off a bad energy and people coming to have good energy.
Yes.
So let me sit down.
Sure. I understand. Now, repeat after me.
Yes.
Don McCoy. Amen. Say man.
Amen. Say man.
This is a moment of transparency between you and I. And for Amen, Say man segment, I want you to tell us a time that, you know, you were gigging and you had a very interesting night, like no other. Because I already know, you know, on these gigs, even from either a business standpoint, maybe a collaboration standpoint with your team, things just don't go always as planned.
No, they don't. let me.
And you don't have to name any names. It's all on you.
Nah, I'm just playing. Nah.
Amen. Say man.
Say man. So I was at a club. This is one, I guess. It was interesting. It didn't ruin the night, but this is kind of one of the turning points for me when I was like, I'm not finna do this. This particular club, that I was there a lot. I actually talked to the owner. We had a conversation about it. So it's not, you know, I'm not repeating it. They don't know. But like I said, I know who I am as a person, as an artist. I do a lot of mid tempo. I'll put in some. I like to groove. Like I'm chill. I'll put in some upbeat stuff. But if you call me, then that's because you call me because you know that's what I offer. So this particular night, the sound guy kept asking the owners, was I gonna do something up tempo? And I was like, who asked me? First of all, but also if you're gonna be checking our set list, call the people that you want to call. And so I pulled him to the side. I said,
the sound guy.
He's not even paying me.
Okay.
So I said, y'all, I'm a little offended a little bit because this is the second time that y'all have done this to me. So I literally told him, I looked him in the face. I said, I'm not Angie Holmes. I'm not Courtney Little. I'm not Carmen Hicks. I just started rolling off the people that they want. I'm not
more
them.
Up tempo.
I'm not them. And if you want that, that's who you need to call. He said, no, I know who I called. I know what I wanted. You know, but I haven't been back there. So, and it's fine. I don't care to be because, like I said, I love them. I love their establishment, and we'll still go support. But I want to go where I know I'm not just tolerated. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, was nobody else free that night or what? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that to me, especially in the midst of everything is going well. If that's just your preference, I mean, I didn't let it knock me off my feet. I had a good rest of the night, but I'm just like, bruh, stop.
And it's probably a sound guy you probably worked with before.
No,
no,
okay. Only at that place, literally, only at that place, and it's fine if you want to make a request, then make a request. We know how to do that. You know how to make a request. You can just do that. Damn,
but that changed the trajectory.
Why do we have to do this?
It changed the trajectory for you, though.
Just make a request. And I don't know. You just that was one incident.
Like, hey man, say man, really, we like, doing this tonight?
Like, why? But was jamming. That was confusing on the front row jamming though. So I just.
Like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do.
Like, what's going on? But that's the most interesting that I can think. I haven't really had any bad experiences with people in the clubs and stuff like that. The things that I have had only happened once with somebody that decided they didn't want to pay me, but we fixed that.
Oh, y'all fixed it. Was it hard to fix?
No, it was hard for me. I don't like being mean. I don't like being a bad person. I don't have a manager. So to say right now, I have people or a person that I'm working with that, you know, we're going in that direction, but I don't want to be the bad person. I don't like to do that because it don't be nice.
If they didn't pay, it sound like they the bad person.
But yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's true.
Now you have to pay me for my time and talent.
That's true. I just didn't like to, you know, necessarily have to. I'm just sweet.
I understand.
I'm just sweet,
I've been through that before too.
I don't want to have to ask you for why I got to
after
do that.
Your services have already been rendered. Why? And we already talked about what the pay was. Why are we talking about this? Like, why is that a problem?
So, but I haven't had any horrible
that's good
yet. Now, if I think of something, I'll call you back.
No, call me back.
Ain't put this
You're
in
not. We're not. You know, we're not gonna speak that into existence.
No,
You're gonna have nothing but lovely.
Yeah.
You know, situations going forward. You're working on the new album, the
Yes,
new
God.
music.
Yes.
And when can we expect that?
I don't know.
You don't know. You know how creative you have to.
Soon, yeah. I know I'm gonna do some singles first, so y'all will hear some singles and stuff from me first. Probably the version of the Erykah Badu song that you heard. I'm gonna release that.
Can you give us a little right now?
Just a kind.
Just a little. You know, shout outs to Tyranny.
Tyranny
Over
said,
here with
"Can you
Spotlight
sing?"
Productions. She can't wait for you to drop a note.
I don't know what I want to sing.
And see, I love your voice, doll, because it's different.
Thank
you know, you don't sound like anyone else
Thank you.
I've heard.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I had to accept that too. Any requests, Tyranny or Ina?
A little Badu.
Oh, okay.
What Tyranny? What you want to hear?
Badu.
What you want to hear?
Oh, I love that
Okay.
song. That's one of my favorites. Okay. Okay.
Want me to do back up?
Yes, please. Alto.
Okay, I'm outside.
Okay, I'm doing a little. Turn down the lights. Turn down the bed. Turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me. Tell me no lies.
Yeah.
Just hold me close. Don't patronize. Don't patronize me. No. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't know. You can make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart and I will feel the power if you won't. No, if you won't, I can make you love me. Okay, it's not.
Tyranny, how you like that?
Thank you.
That was absolutely beautiful.
Thank
Look, you got Fabian coming up the
Just because he got
steps.
to walk me back down them steps. He said, "Let me."
How do you take care of your God-given instrument and gift?
I make sure, of course, when this weather gets tricky, I wear big coats. Fabian.
BigCoats.com. Fabian, that was for you.
No, I use steam. A lot of people think like tea works, but not your vocal cords aren't actually able to get moisture because it's the little flap that closes. So steaming helps to get them moist. So I steam a lot, and I try not to yell unless I'm really get mad. I just
Girl has some kids.
I try not to yell, and yeah, but I just try to stay healthy internally, of course. Watching what my intake on certain things like alcohol and stuff. I mean, I still drink, but
I got you. I
toe
got
up from
you.
the flow up, yeah.
No toes up from the flows up.
No.
Okay. Well, Stephani Doll McCoy, I have enjoyed you
Thank
today
you.
on
I
the
enjoy
Verbally
you.
Effective Podcast. Lady, you know I love you, and
I love you.
you're amazing talent. And we've been talking about you coming on the podcast for a while. And you're here. You've been sharing. You even
Thank
gave
you.
us a song today.
I know, and I normally would be like, no, I'm not singing.
You normally would have been like, no.
Yeah. I'd be
See,
like,
you love
I'd
me
be like,
then.
I didn't want I really did. It sounded a little rough, but y'all come
No,
out.
I
Come out
didn't
to
hear
the
any
gig.
roughness in that.
So thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this.
Yes,
I
you're
really
welcome.
have.
You are indeed
I really
verbally
have.
effective.
you.
I want you to let the verbally effective audience know how they can continue to follow your amazing journey.
I am on IG, Facebook. I'm starting my little TikToks. I'm old, so I'm starting TikTok.
Get that TikTok
I'm
together,
getting it
girl.
going. But all
Now.
of this, I've been started. All of it's the same. It's Doll McCoy. That's DollMcCoy on everything. If you just type that in, I'll come up. I should come up.
Yes.
It shouldn't be hard. I tried to make it easy for for everyone.
I'm glad you joined TikTok because let me tell you something.
Ooh.
I've been on there for a minute, but you will really find your tribe on TikTok. Like it's different than the visuals with Instagram.
Yeah.
It's more so content driven, I think.
It is.
And
And
what you
it's
provide.
so relatable. I'm learning how to do it, so I'm about to start being more present on there. So
yeah.
singing and stuff.
Well, congratulations, honey, on
Thank you.
everything that's coming your way. Like I
so
said,
much.
I am a huge fan, and every time I go to an event where I'm working and I see you there, I'm so happy.
I am too. It's Ina.
Like, hey, dog.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see what you have going on too. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming today on Verbally Effective. And I know I'll see you at a gig very soon.
You shall.
Or on my TikTok timeline.
Yes, both.
Okay. Okay. Well, I want to thank all of you for tuning in yet again to the Verbally Effective Podcast. Please hit that subscribe button. I know y'all watching the podcast, but y'all not hitting subscribe. I need you to hit that button.
Right now. Do it right now.
Please, right now, in the Ina Esco YouTube channel as well. Happy holidays. I'll see you guys next week.
This is the Spotlight Podcast Network.